Born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland, Chantel Green was no stranger to the challenges that life in a city could bring. Her early years were marked by adversity, leading her down a dark path where she eventually rose to prominence as a drug QueenPin. However, Chantel refused to let her past define her future. Instead, she embarked on a transformative journey that would lead her to become the owner of Nurses Are Us and a star in the hit reality show BET's Trap Queens. Since we both have lived our lives fast, furious, and fabulous, it's only right we take it to the speedway. Ferraris, Lambos, here we come.
Straight talk, make for straight understanding. That's what I know. If you ain't heard, what's the word when the word has been served in? That's when you broke. Say it with your chest, don't digress. Keep it fresh, speak your whole truth. Never give nothing less. Gotta give your all, give your best. If you try, you see failure, but aim for success.
Push it to the goddamn limit. Ching, ching.
If you have any questions after, don't hesitate to ask myself or any other guys that are going to be helping you out on the pit lane today, okay?
Welcome to Dream Racing. Today you will drive a beautiful supercar or a real GT race car on our track. Driving on track requires a specific technique. Our GT race cars are designed and built for maximum performance with no compromise. Strictly built for the racetrack. All of our race cars run on racing slick tires, which when warm, provide a much higher grip. All these components actually make the race cars easier to drive on track. You're going to be assisted at all times by a professional race car driver, highly trained and experienced. His role is to keep you safe.
It's nice to meet you.
We got ourselves 6 laps in the Ferrari 488 Pista. You ready to go? Mm-hmm. Foot on the brake, going upshift to first gear. Then up here we'll get up to about 30 miles an hour. And right here, if you will, try that brake out. Give me a nice firm try of that brake. 70, 80, 90, 100% gas. Go ahead. Right hand side of the track, keep going, keep going. Perfect, Lana. Open up the right. Catch that slide.
Hi, welcome to LanaLive, a hybrid reality show podcast featuring unique experiences and individuals from a journalistic perspective through a human lens. And today with me, I have a beautiful, incredible, amazing, talented woman, an author, a successful businesswoman, my friend Chantel Green. Hi, Chantel.
Hi, Lana, and thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, I am so delighted.
We talked earlier about what it was like to be a successful woman and what it takes to get there and what it takes to stay there. What is your experience? Tell me.
My experience is everybody wants to be a successful woman at the top, but they don't know all that it takes. It's not just being successful. It doesn't happen overnight, and everybody wants that. They don't look at the sleepless nights. They don't realize the anxiety. They don't know about if this money doesn't come through the wire. They just see the sacrifices. They see the glitter and the glitz, and the glam, and they want it. And sometimes I don't even want it. It's a lot.
So being where you are, which is obviously extremely successful, I believe you were in Forbes magazine.
Forbes and Black Enterprise.
Which is a huge honor. You're an incredible inspiration to so many. So when you're in Forbes and Black Enterprise magazine, it's kind of like knowing that you made it, right?
Kind of.
How does it feel? Let's talk about that.
It was unexpected because I'm just around the way girl. I look at myself as being around the way. I'm not better than anybody. I have grown up looking at those magazines, seeing them on Instagram, and, so they were big deals. But when I got the call, especially Black Enterprise, that was big to me because they ranked my company number 96 in the nation.
Wow.
Of the largest Black-owned businesses. That was good because I was like, how y'all know about me? So that was a big deal.
That's incredible. It's a huge honor.
Yeah, that was a big deal to me. And it kind of made me move even harder because that let me know people are watching what you're doing. So that means I had to get, step my game up a lot more, but that's more pressure.
We talked about a lot of things earlier, and I know that you know how to make money, and you've made money for years.
All my life.
All your life.
Since 14.
And you made a lot of money.
A lot of money.
And making money back then.
Different.
And making money today. It's different.
Whole different world.
How is that different, and how do you feel about it, and what's the difference in your life?
Well, when I was making money as a teenager, it was a survival mechanism. My mom was on heroin. We were about to get evicted. And before that, I had a perfect life. My mom was a registered nurse, made good money, and then she just started getting high. So our life started crumbling, and just something in me early on, I cannot decline. We can't decline as a family. So I became the adult in the family, and I took it to the street because my whole family, the majority of my family my father's side were in the street. So that was practically all I saw as far as getting money. Besides my mother working as a nurse, I didn't have those positive role models. When I looked at my uncle, when I seen the big cars and the money and the diamonds, and that excited me. So at 14, I said, I got to be the mom now because I'm not going for it.
How much money did you make per day at the time?
I'm going to be honest. Everybody asks me that. It's like when you're getting fast money, it's so hard to tell. I can give you instances
How
where...
about a ballpark?
Okay, I can tell you I had a really bad gambling habit. And I had a fake ID. And I had a military... One of my friend's father was in the military. So I paid him to get things and do things. So I met some older people that were in the military and they had gambling habits. And they would fly us anywhere we wanted to go on private jets to gamble. And I could remember sometime 60,000, 80,000, just messing it up in the casino on the weekend and then go back home and make it back. So I can't never give a precise number, but when I think about all the things I've owned, at 23, I had a single family home with a pool, 2-car garage,
so
2 acres of land.
Family.
Exactly. So I spent stupidly.
Yeah.
Don't get it to, I spent stupidly. I bought the dumbest stuff. But I can just remember having everything I needed, everything I wanted, every car there is, I had it. And before I was 18. Plastic surgery, I started that because they ain't know what it was when I was getting it. But I just remember just living that fast life. And I remember when that money is coming in like that, you forget about everything and everybody. It's like you God. I could go places and they see me, let me in, treat me like a celebrity. I remember going to stores and they would close the store because me and, the people I work for was coming in there to let us shop. So you get like a God mentality.
So you made millions, basically.
Pretty much, yes.
Easy come, easy go.
Yep.
Because no one taught you how to manage your money.
No, I did the dumbest things.
Right.
I know. I did the only thing I did that was smart. Every house I ever lived in, I own it now from birth.
Good for you.
So that's the only thing I did smart.
You know I love real estate. I invest in real estate heavily.
So, yep. I went back and bought my grandmother's house, the house my mother had, my first house I bought, the second house I bought, the house I live in now in a condo. So every house that I ever lived in, I never sold it or anything. I still own it.
Good for you. That's very smart.
That's the only thing smart I did.
So I want to go back for one moment to your parents.
Okay.
Your parents were both drug addicts, right?
Yes.
And you said your mom started doing drugs when you were 14?
Yes. Well, probably before then, but that's when I noticed. That's
and
when
prior
it
to
started
that,
showing.
she didn't do anything? Did
Well,
something trigger
she
that?
hurt her back. She had surgery. The pills weren't helping her, so it resorted to heroin. And it was bad because I remember somebody told me they seen my mother outside getting in the man's car. So at 14, I became her doctor. I started getting her high so she wouldn't embarrass me and my grandmother. So
you grew up early
I grew up really fast. At 14, I was 25.
Wow. And now you have a master's degree.
Two
master's degrees, I'm sorry. And you're extremely successful. What was that journey like from the streets of Baltimore to being at the top of the food chain is kind of where you are?
I had it tough in the streets. I have it even tougher as a business owner because it's public knowledge of my past. So that makes it kind of difficult for me. But I take every battle.
You're under a microscope.
I'm under a microscope. I am. But I take every battle when I fight it. And I win usually. But then you still looking behind your shoulder because you can't trust anybody. More money is more enemies, more hatred, more jealousy. I had to evaluate my street life and my business life. I hate to say it, it's all the same. It's just a different kind of monster you fight.
100%. It's always the same game.
It's
Only the
same
players
game.
change and the stakes of the game.
Exactly.
You know, a lot of people think once you get to the top, cool, you can just chill and take it easy.
No.
But how much harder is it to stay there than getting there?
Oh, that's the hardest
because
part.
Staying power is everything.
That's the hardest part. Staying there. See, you can get there, but can you stay there? That's the hardest part of being successful.
And people don't understand, I think, just how much resilience it takes. You have to have very thick skin. You have to become bulletproof, basically.
Yeah, you bulletproof. Heartless.
An army of attorneys on a payroll. I'm sure we
gotta have your attorneys.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you earlier, I pay more attorneys in business than I did when I was in the streets. And that's crazy.
Oh, I know. I'm right there with you.
And by my business I have an S Corp and then a regular Corp, a C Corp. So with those type of businesses, you can't even speak for your businesses. Always has to be an attorney fighting your battles. And I mean, the going rate, I know with things that I encounter, and you probably too, is $500 to $700 an hour.
Minimum.
And then sometimes you got to hire private investigators to figure out what's going on, and that's a whole nother.
When people steal from you. Speaking of people stealing from you, please, I want you to tell our viewers what you recently went through. I still get goosebumps when I think about it.
So the crazy part is I have a little cousin, and this is my mother's sister's son. And about 11 years ago, somebody told me he was sleeping in the tent. I went, got him out of that tent, dressed him up, gave him somewhere to live, gave him a job, paid him well. And I was missing $1.3 million from my company's funds. So I hired a private investigator who was retired FBI. She cloned all my computers. And I just remember, I thought it was every girl that I had a problem with that worked for me.
It's your own family.
I blamed it on everybody, and it was my first cousin. $1.3 million.
And didn't that same cousin also take a BP?
$1.8 million loan out in my name and use the girl to act like she was me.
No. Let
and
me
I'm fighting
ask
both.
you, what did you do to him? I would have lost my shit.
You know what? Every street bone in my body, I can't even tell you what I wanted to do to him.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I
but
can imagine.
Then I had to be smart about it. I had to think about my aunt. That's my mother's sister. That's 75 years old. That would kill her. So I had to think about her.
You're an amazing soul.
It's crazy.
Truly. I think you're way more forgiving than I am.
Not really. Not really. See, you got to realize I have a governor's pardon. Mm-hmm. I can't jaywalk.
I understand.
I lose it all. So, and people know that. So that's why they do the things that they do.
But you know what?
But it's cool.
I'm big on vengeance, and there's nothing wrong with legal vengeance.
That's true. That's true.
No one said you couldn't have legal vengeance, right?
Right. He gonna get his.
Did you confront him? What did he say?
Was
there justification?
Well, when I hired the investigator who was retired FBI,
our new BFF, Miss FBI.
Yes, our new BFF. Mm-hmm. He actually signed the confession that he did this to me. And his excuse was he's always been clumpy, poor, never had anything. Mm-hmm. And when he had money, he had friends. And he said he loved the power of having money and friends.
That was his excuse?
That was his excuse.
So he bit the hands that fed him, both hands.
Yes. He was mimicking my life. He had a cleaning lady. He had somebody washing his clothes. He had an assistant. Everything that I have, he had. His assistant lived in Texas. We live in Maryland. So he just loved that life.
He wanted to be you.
Yep.
Without earning the right to be you.
Exactly.
See, people want something for nothing. They have a false sense of entitlement. They don't understand just what it takes to get there.
And stay there.
The trials, the struggles, the sacrifices,
the
sleepless nights.
The haters.
Oh, my God.
The laws. The IRS.
I know.
Oh. You know, the IRS.
Every time I have to write a check, I get nauseous.
You know.
So you were queen of the streets, and now you're the queen of the business world.
Yes.
Let's go back to the streets for a minute. I want to know exactly what you did and how you did it and what it took to survive and to make a lot of money.
Okay, so back to the streets, like I said, I was kind of forced into the streets because I didn't want my grandmother to know my mother was getting high. My grandmother was my world.
Wow.
Anything that hurt her would have killed me. So it wasn't happening. I was a teenager. I sold morphine. Where I sold drugs, we had the only morphine strip in Maryland.
Were you the only female, the only girl doing this?
I wasn't the only female, but this is what I learned in the streets. I was the only female that didn't use her own product. So it was a lot of females out there, but they were hustling to get high. Mm-hmm. I was hustling to survive. Mm-hmm. It's a difference.
Big difference.
I knew that wasn't where I wanted to be. Mm-hmm. I never wanted to be in the streets. I don't glorify hustling. Mm-hmm. It's something I had to do. Mm-hmm. I mean, take it or leave it.
Sure.
But I went to school every day. I would come out 4:30, 5 o'clock in the morning, hustle till it was time for me to go to school. Go to school, get out of school, back hustling. I did this for years.
It's incredible.
I remember my mother had an eviction notice, $3,000 and something. I got home, it was an eviction notice on the door. And I'll never forget talking to her landlord. He was a piece of shit. And I called him. My mother was high as a kite by then. I called him. I said, is there any way you can give us more time to get this money together? He said, you got to next Friday. You had the money or y'all getting the F out. And I said, okay. I said, well, what does she owe you? He said, I need the $3,000 plus late fees, plus whatever. But I just remember looking at my mother, looking at my grandmother, and I just went outside. And I was 14. I hustled. $3,000 3 days, I had $12,000. I called him back.
Wow.
I said, what do I owe you? He said, what I told you the other day. I said, well, I have it. He said, well, the sheriff will be there and you give it to them. So I remember the day they came to set my mother out, and I got out. We call them hacks. Y'all call them taxis. But I remember getting out. The landlord was, it was like the landlord was in his car. It was a sheriff's car. And they were getting ready to execute the eviction. And I said, wait. And I said, okay. I said, we talked about what I owe you, and I have it. He said, well, I need this now. He said, I need it now. They're going to put her out. I said, give me the yearly price. I said, I need it for the year. I pay her rent for the year that day. He told the sheriff the debt was satisfied. I said, give me a receipt. That day, I knew I was supposed to stop because I did my due diligence. But I had gotten so addicted to the fast money. Yeah. To be 14 and make $12,000 in 3 days, that's crazy. Yeah. I should have been stopped then. My only purpose was to save the house, and I was just addicted. I couldn't stop.
You were always an entrepreneur, a businesswoman.
Always.
Even as a child. You know, I think when we come from nothing, I came from nothing, literally nothing.
The hustle was harder.
That determination to make it is so strong. You don't eat, you don't sleep, you do whatever you have to get to the top. And then you do what it takes to stay there. Yeah. So your teenage years were very colorful, to say the least.
Right. Very colorful.
You drove a Mercedes, if I'm not mistaken.
I had every Mercedes they ever made.
And how old were you at the time?
My first Mercedes I bought, I think I was 15. I had, like I told you, I had one of my girlfriend's father was in the military, retired military. And I always would hear him complain about his retirement check being late, his military. So one day I was like, if I pay you, can you help me? He was like, help you do what? I said, don't ask no questions. And I gave him a whole, I can't remember what it was, but I gave him a lot of money. And he would put everything in his name for me. I never messed up his credit. Paid bills on time, gave him his money. He did good and I did good.
Oh my God, someone needs to do a movie about you. Oh my God, you're incredible.
It's coming.
Wow.
But I would drive my cars to school, but I would park them so far. And I went to school one day. I never missed a day out of school in my life. I went to school one day and I left early. And my teachers knew I was bad, but they start realizing that I was really, really smart. So this one teacher took a liking to me. Like, she's like, this girl is, she thought I cheated on the test. So she let the class leave and gave me the test over and I got 100. And she wanted to know why I sleep in her class all the time. So she was really interested in me. And one day she caught me driving my car. And she was pulling up at my grandmother's house to tell my grandmother why she driving the car. She not old enough. And that was the first person I ever told my mother was on heroin real bad and what I was doing. Oh. So she tried to help me. She got me a job with the government. It was called the Stay in School Program at Social Security. But by then I had 2 cars. Yes. I had apartments. I had all kinds of bills. A job couldn't do anything for my lifestyle. So I went a week and then I just didn't go. I couldn't go because I had bills. I had my mother. Then my mother had a baby. I had a baby. Then I had a baby. So I'm just supporting everybody trying to hide this from my grandmother.
And what was your grandmother thinking at the time when she found out? Did she say anything? What happened?
Lord, I'm going to be honest. I could shoot somebody in the head in front of her. Guess what she going to say? It wasn't my granddaughter. It was somebody look like
Yep, my family's the same way.
So my grandmother never believed I did anything wrong. You could tell her 1,000,000 times that I did something. Not her. She was in denial about the whole situation. The good thing, as she got older, she got sick. and I was able to take care of her. And I took care of her until she died. She lived a good life.
Yeah.
She lived a good life. So I was glad that I was able to give that to her.
You were arrested. At what age? First time?
I actually got arrested the first time. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Probably 15, 16, 17, 18, like all the time.
Oh, my gosh.
I got arrested a lot, but I was kind of smart. So what I did, my name started ringing. Everybody was saying Chantel, who got the good shit? Chantel. So my name was ringing really, really, and I always hung around people older than me. So they told me, your name ringing, go give a lawyer a retainer fee. That way, if anything happened, you got a lawyer. Yeah. So I listened. So I always had a lawyer on retainer. And then as a juvenile, they always let me come home. So
and you were 15 with a lawyer on retainer?
Oh, yeah. He's still my lawyer to this day. He's still my lawyer to this day. And my best friend. And he was on my show with me, Trap Queens. He's still my lawyer to this day. Yep. He's my business lawyer now.
I'm like, oh my God, I'm in awe.
Yep, he's still my lawyer to this day. Matter of fact, I got him working on something now.
Incredible.
Yeah.
And you still stayed in school despite making all this money.
Never missed a day.
Easy money.
I have never
And you had straight A's.
Straight A's.
You're
never
smart.
been absent. Because this is not the life I wanted. This was the life
It was a means to an end.
Right. And I knew the only way I could make close to what I was doing was to stay in school. But then I graduated, got my degree in nursing, and that's when depression set in. I never knew what depression was until I changed my life.
What do you mean?
Hustling is a different type of money. It's every day, every 5 minutes if you want it to be. Working is a paycheck.
So is it the kill that you missed?
No, the money, the
Just
bills.
The money.
Yeah, when I hustled, I didn't have bills. If I had a bill, I paid it.
Yeah.
For years and months or whatever. It wasn't like a budget type of thing. When I got in the workforce and they was taking federal, I did good as a nurse, but I would work a lot of overtime because I wanted to have money. I would work 16 to 20 hours a day, so you get time and a half at the 8 hours back then. But I never realized the state and the federal was going to cut my check up like that. So I'm like, I done made $6,000 in 2 weeks and my check only $2,000 and something because they done took $4,000 and something.
That's the original mafia as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so that was like I was getting pamped. So that was hard. Yeah. That was hard. And
how did you deal with your depression? And how long were you depressed?
Oh, I'm still depressed to this day. It's different. No, I was really depressed then because I was new at working. I didn't know anything about them taking all them taxes out. My God. And then this FICA and all this other junk and health insurance. I never had that. So when I got a real job as a registered nurse, my salary was good, but they was cutting my check so much. But I still had my single family home I bought at 23 with my pool. You got to get your pool service. And, I still had my fancy cars and I had a Bentley back then. And I had to pay for this. I never lost anything. Never lost a thing. But I still had to pay for this stuff. So paying for a Bentley. I'm young still. Paying a Bentley. I'm paying a mortgage. I'm making sure my mother living good.
It's a lot of bills.
Yeah, and now I'm working. It's different. And I had to go back to the streets because it wasn't doing it.
It wasn't enough.
Right.
And how old were you then?
I was probably in my 20s.
Yeah, and you had already gotten your bachelor's degree?
During that time, I had only had my associate's degree because I had wound up letting somebody hold my car because I didn't care about, back then you didn't care about cars. Everybody had their money. I let somebody hold my car and this fool robbed the bank. But it was a blessing. Let me tell you something. This bank robbery was a blessing. It saved my life. So what was the likelihood they come to me because they get my tag number on camera. I get locked up for bank robbery.
Oh, my God.
They knew I didn't rob a bank.
Your grandmother didn't find out, did she?
She don't believe no.
Okay.
She said,
oh, that's right.
Somebody looked like me.
Yeah, it wasn't her.
Wasn't never me. So they robbed the bank.
Holy shit.
I get locked up for this bank robbery. They knew it wasn't me. But they robbed the bank in the most prejudiced place where the damn president and the governor live in Annapolis.
Shit.
So that you don't rob banks down that area. But these fools did. So they came and got me. And the judge, I loved him to his death. So when I went to court, I had a jury trial. They offered me 15 years. So my lawyer said, you got one thing that the average criminal don't have. And I said, what? He said, you're an A student. Like, he said, you never missed a day. He said, so we're going to flip this on this judge. He said, I'm going to ask for a continuance. He said, I'm going to request all your school records. Went there. I pleaded guilty. Well, they found me guilty. I didn't plead guilty. They found me guilty. So the judge, my lawyer said, before we do the census, can I tell you her story? He told the judge my story. He gave the story my grades. That teacher that wrote me this kick-ass letter and the pop off of all things to say my mother was dying from AIDS, which she was. He felt as though he didn't want to lock me up while my mother was dying from AIDS. And then he asked me one question I never forget. He said, so are you doing this because of your mother? I said, no, I'm doing it because I made the wrong choices. So that's what made him not give me all that time. So he said, since you're an A student, I'm going to change your life, but I'm going to give you one chance. He said, I'm going to lock you up Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I'm going to let you go to college Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. He said, and when you release, the only way you getting out of jail is to finish.
Wow.
And I liked it, and I kept going.
That's an incredible human being.
We became really, really close.
That's amazing. There are angels looking out for you.
Yeah.
And there have been, always.
But I knew I had to change from that because it wasn't no more. They weren't playing with me no more. But I didn't do the crime. Everything I did, I didn't get in trouble for what I didn't do.
That's incredible.
But it was a blessing, you know. And my best friend, she died from AIDS as well. She's my best friend. She did 10 years for me. She told me, go to school, get your life together. I'm going to do the time.
It's amazing.
She wound up. So I just had so many angels in my life that pushed me. And then one day, when my mother died on her deathbed, my mother said, I need you out them streets. You're going to die in them streets. And I didn't even realize that she was even cognitively aware.
Yeah.
She had took out a large insurance policy. And on her deathbed, she said, you take this insurance policy, you cash it, and you get your life together. I never sold a drug since that day.
It's incredible.
And I've been clean ever since, but it was a transition. I'm glad I did it.
Wow.
No regrets.
So from queen of the streets to the queen of the business world, how is that transition? Do you find that it's the same? Is it the same kind of struggle, the same kind of game, the same players, the same bullshit?
Business is worse. In the streets.
Do you miss the kill? That fast money, the kill of making the fast money.
That's never gonna go nowhere. See, in the streets, you know what you're dealing with. You're dealing with the robbers. You're dealing with the police. And the ones that's gonna snitch on you. The snitches, the robbers, and the police. That's what you're dealing. In this business world, you're dealing with the IRS, all these other crazy people, the state.
Dirty competition, everyone and everything.
God, other companies that want you off, friends that you grew up with that can't take it that you made it. Everybody begging you for money. People die, they don't have no insurance. They want you to pay for funerals.
Absolutely.
It's just
everyone hitting you up for everything.
It's a whole nother world in this business world. It's a whole nother world.
Are you happy? No.
I'm getting there. And I'm getting there with life, period. Because being in the streets since you're 14, the amusement parks I had never experienced. I was hustling. Things that the normal 14-year-old...
You haven't been to Disneyland?
I've been, but I took my daughter when she was a child. But it's different when...
Yes.
You know... I missed a whole part of my life. That's why.
You weren't given an opportunity to be a child.
No parks, no driving, move. You know, the stuff you do with your mother.
Kid stuff.
I didn't have that stuff. So that's why now, like, you ask me why I drink Coke. And I eat anything I want now. I don't care if it's the pork. If I want pork, I'm going to eat pork. If I want a Coke, I'm going to do whatever I want to do because I lost so much of my life in them streets.
Do you sleep at night knowing that you wake up tomorrow and your life is still good? As opposed to, obviously, not feeling that same way when you were a kid?
I sleep because I'm not looking over my shoulder. Right. I don't sleep because I don't know what demons I'm walking into tomorrow with business.
Absolutely.
It's always something.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Ain't that a bitch?
Yeah, it's a bitch. Because it's always something. And the business problems are much more hectic than,
Oh, believe me, I know. I'll bet you had to deal with a lot of dirty cops.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty judges.
Oh, yeah.
Dirty everything.
Dirty cops, yes. Dirty cops. It's crazy because, like I said, I did a show, American Gangster Trap Queen.
Oh, I know. I watched it several times. I love it.
And the police commissioner.
You're the shit.
Did you see the police commissioner on there? He's the black Melvin Russell. The one said he could never catch me. He wasn't a dirty cop, but he turned in a dirty. They raided my grandmother's house. She had a heart attack. He turned them in. So even after I got out the streets, I was still a target. Yeah. Like,
that's amazing.
I'm still a target because nobody can believe that I went from here to here, and it seemed like I'm still.
And you're able to stay here.
Yeah. So I'm still dealing with the old life and the new life.
You're incredible. The fact that you can stay here and make it and keep going to the top is incredible because it's hard. Tell me, as you didn't just do this as a woman, you did it as a black woman in a world filled and dominated by white men. Oh my God. How was that? Did you feel, you must have felt racism, discrimination, all that shit.
Can I be honest with you, Lana? I'm colorblind for one. I don't care if you yellow. If we can make green together,
amen.
That's all I see.
Absolutely.
I ain't gonna lie to you.
Same.
If you're a good person and you got a good heart, I fucks with you.
Yep.
But it's my own people that I get the backlash.
Seriously.
I swear. I never went to black colleges. I've always went to white colleges. And I don't want to offend anyone, but to me, Caucasians are taught different. They're taught how to invest.
Yes.
They're taught how to do things.
What do you mean different? Black kids aren't taught these things?
No. I went to a black school for 1 year. Went to Baltimore City Community College. Good education, but I was taught to be smart. I was taught math. I was taught sociology and physiology and all that crazy stuff, chemistry. But I wasn't taught how to upgrade my life. When I went to the white schools, we had an investing class. We learned how to invest in stock. So I did go to an African American college. It was really good, no offense. I learned my chemistry, I learned my biology, I learned all the things I needed to know to get the degrees in my major. When I went to schools with other ethnic groups, such as Caucasians, Hispanics, and we had a different kind of education. Like we learned about investing, we learned about home buying. They would have home buying seminars.
Doesn't every university offer the same classes?
Not the one I went to.
Really?
And Caucasians and other ethnic groups. Did you have
microeconomics, macroeconomics, all of that stuff?
I had it, but it's different. See, this is the problem with us as a unity, with unity. We label color. I'm not gonna lie. When my mother died, I wanted to drop out of school. I just was done. Because me and my mom was like 13 years apart. So we was like close
like
in
sisters.
Age. Yeah. So when she died, I just wanted to give up. All my white friends piled up in the van because I went to school like 2 hours away. I never went to school where I live. I went where nobody knew who I was. They piled up in a van and dragged me out their house and said, "You're going to finish with us.
Wow.
We're not letting you quit.
Oh.
We higgle your notes, higgle your tape recordings. Come on." And they pushed me to finish.
That's amazing.
I
love that.
You don't get that with my people all the time. I mean, I have like a really good girlfriend. She pushes me to the end. But I got that going to this white school. If it wasn't for them and, you know, just being there, pushing me, coming to get me in the van, they brought me food. I was like, I'm not going back to school. Wow. Oh, yes, you are.
That's love.
You know, it's just, it's different. And I love all people. I'm not colorblind, but as Black people, we don't stick together as we should.
Bitch, run and hide. I'm coming for you.
Exactly.
I don't care what color you are, what religion you are.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I love everybody. I don't have a color preference. But
tell me about your love life. I know you're married to a really hot guy. I saw the muscles. He's got like serious biceps. He's hot.
So my husband, this is so crazy. Knew him back in the day, little something. But I really, we reunited. He was really big time drug dealer. He did 27 years in prison. We started talking. We got together. I don't know where his mental was, the streets, or I think both of us did it together. We built businesses together. Mm-hmm. He got into the trucking business. Mm-hmm. We opened up adult medical daycare together, which is both our business, where the nursing agency is my business. The trucking agency is more so his business. But I think we had to push each other to stay straight. Mm-hmm. So it works. I don't think if I would have met him, I don't know where I would be mentally. Mm-hmm. With all that I go through, he's the type of guy, I can go from 0 to 100. He'd be like, no, keep building your business. He calms me down.
Yes, he's good for you. He grounds you.
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I'd be in jail, under the jail, on top of the jail, somewhere. He's calm. I'm the loud one, but he keeps me focused.
I'll bet everything you learned surviving and thriving in the streets, you're using today in the business world. And it probably helps you to survive and to stay there.
Honestly, I really feel in my world you have to be a little street savvy and business savvy. Because really it's all the same. When you're in the streets, that's a business. You make money. When you're in business, that's a business. You make money. It's really the same, but the game is just played
swimming with the
different.
sharks. I think just, the nature of the sharks is still the same.
Yep. You're right.
And do you find that money makes your relationship better or worse?
My love life?
You're with your husband.
Oh, he don't care about money no more. I think my husband had like a life sentence, and he gave time back because the fentanyl laws had changed. Mm-hmm. So he has a second. He don't care. He drives a pickup truck. He'll go get some Wrangler jeans. He got a bank account for. He don't care. He don't care about money at all. As long as I'm happy. Yeah. It's all about what I want. It's never about what he want. He don't care. He just be like, if you want it, get it.
He really sounds like a great guy.
He is. He truly is.
And you have a daughter.
Oh, God, yes.
And a granddaughter.
And a granddaughter.
And you were how old when you had your daughter?
I was 15 or 16.
Wow. You're a baby with a baby.
With a baby.
In school.
In school.
Who watched your child when you went to school?
I went to the pregnant school. So my baby went to school with me. I went to Paquin. We had a pregnant school.
No kidding.
We had a pregnant school, and let me tell you, the principal, me and her had the same car, same kind of Benz, and we became the best of friends.
Wow.
And I kind of liked her style. Yeah. So we became really, really close.
Do they still have pregnant schools?
No, that was the worst thing they could have got rid of. Yeah, you learn how to be a mother. You learn education. Genius. It was great.
So somebody watched your child while you went to school and got your education?
Mm-hmm. In school. And you spend time with them throughout the day.
That's
and
amazing.
You do your classes. Yep.
Oh, my God. They need to bring that back.
I know. They took it away. But I went to a pregnant school.
That's incredible. And what about, that's for high school?
I went 10th and 11th grade.
And what about college?
College, I went to so many colleges.
But who took care of your baby?
I paid I was in the streets.
I know,
paid
so like babysitters?
Yeah, I had my grandmother helped me a lot, but then I hired a nanny.
Yeah.
So I had a nanny that would watch her.
And do you and your daughter get along? Are you like friends?
You know what? With my daughter, I put her through so much being in the streets. I never realized how much I affected her. Like, I was getting shot at while she was in my arms one time.
Oh, my God.
And she still remembers.
And your granddaughter?
Oh, that's my
Do you get to spoil her rotten?
I spoil her worse. And they jealous of, both of them jealous of each other with me. It's horrible.
So what does your daughter do?
So my daughter is a rapper, and it's crazy because she is a rapper of her trauma. And it just makes sense.
High ho, how you poppin' hella lip? Running hard though, talk about my daughter, bitch. I'm down the slide slow, catch me on the back blocks, bitches don't wanna see me. I gave you the location, the way I'm going, come meet me.
She raps about everything she experienced when being my daughter.
Yeah.
Me being in the streets, the money. She raps about me.
She's beautiful.
Yeah, that's my...
I follow her on Instagram, T Savage.
T Savage.
She's beautiful.
Thank you.
And she's a good mom, you say, right?
Oh, she's a great mom and a great cook.
That's
something
amazing.
I never was able to be.
Yeah.
I'm a good grandmother. I don't think I was a great mom, but I did my best.
Listen, we all do the best we can with what we have.
Exactly.
Tell me about Mastermind.
Mastermind is actually, I call myself Mastermind because I overcame the streets.
Mm-hmm.
I don't glorify hustling. I glorify change.
Mm-hmm.
I always want to give the message that regardless of what you think you can't do, you can do it. Because if I can do it, you can do it. Because I was fucked up. But anyway, excuse my French.
Yep.
I was a mess. So if I can change, anybody can change. So the way I took hustling to education to business, I call myself Mastermind. I opened up a production company called Mastermind Production.
That's hot. I love that name.
I wrote a series, a six week series about my life story. I'm in major negotiations. One company I can't say yet, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to pick them because the terms was like great. So I'm working on that. I'm also working on some reality TV shows. One is called Bossed Up. And I'm trying to prepare. You know, you got to come with me, girl.
I love it.
Bossed Up is basically about women, boss women, and what we go through as women.
Yep.
Because,
by the way, can we talk about the fact that if it's a man that's successful, they call him a boss, and if you're a woman that's successful, they call you a bitch? The fuck is that?
That's what they do.
Well, I'm a boss bitch.
Well, you know, forever
So
we
fuck
weren't
'em.
expected to be bosses.
Yeah.
And then it just now women are really taking over the business industry. It's just what
Well,
it
it's
is.
our turn. It's enough.
Yeah.
Sorry, continue.
No, you're right. Women are dominating. Well, so this series I'm bringing out is called Bossed Up. So I want to just do women in business. The world needs to see what happens in business because I think we show the cars, we show the jewelry, we show the bling, we show the shoes, we show the clothes, but we don't show them this business world can
They
be.
need to see the process.
The
process.
Exactly. And then a lot of people don't realize everybody not built for this.
True.
And I want people to see, is this where I fit in? Because there's nothing wrong with having a 9 to 5.
Absolutely.
There's definitely nothing wrong with that. But I need women to see what it takes to be a real boss. Because half
Absolutely.
of these chicks out here, they not real bosses.
I agree.
If a man made you a boss, you're not a boss.
Absolutely.
Bosses
And if you're
from
owned by a
ground
man,
up.
you're not a boss.
Exactly.
And if you can be moved or controlled by a man, you're still not a boss. Or anybody else for that matter.
Exactly.
You know what? I look at myself as the unmoved mover. I move when I decide to move, how, when, and where. If anyone else says move, I'm like, okay, you
When
move.
I want to.
Nope. If I don't want to move, there's no way in hell I'm going to.
Nope.
That's freedom.
Yeah, it's freedom.
And to me, that's the most important. I value freedom above all else.
Exactly.
If there's a message that you can share with young girls out there, what would it be?
Change is everything. Don't think you can't change. And I say that for people in the streets, prostitutes, people that they're just not living a life that they want to live because of the circumstances they're dealt with. You can be whatever you want to be. It just takes time. Patience is everything.
Hard work. Persistence, perseverance.
And it pay off.
We have a foundation. You have a foundation. I wonder if there's a way we can do something to help young girls out there and get them off the streets.
Yep.
Not the boys. Chantel, I'm so grateful that you were able to be here with me today. I think you're a true inspiration. I'm so blown away and inspired by your story. You're fucking incredible.
Oh, thank you.
Oh my God.
So are you.
You're truly a blessed warrior.
Thank you.
And I would like to just present you with a small token of my appreciation
that
for being here and to demonstrate who you are and how absolutely incredible you are. This is our little blessed warrior presentation.
I'm about to cry.
Girl, you got wings and you're flying.
Wow, it's amazing. Thank you.
You're so amazing.
I need a hug. This
You're
is
awesome.
beautiful. Only you or Tracy will find something that's beautiful.
You deserve nothing less.
Oh, this is really, I can't wait to get this on. You know that. Put on my mantle. Oh.
Thank you.
Thank you. And y'all spelled my name right. Lord, what?
I appreciate you. Thank you for being here.
It was amazing.
Thank you.
Straight talk, make for straight understanding. That's what I know. If you ain't heard what's the word when the word has been served in. That's who you, bro. Say it with your chest, don't digress. Keep it fresh, speak your whole truth, never give nothing less. Gotta give your all, give your best. If you try, you see failure, but aim for success, yes. Too blessed to be stressed, coming at you sideways, hit 'em with the finesse.